All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I got your watch list coming into December 6, 2019, and this is the best stock to buy this month. We're wrapping up the first week of December here. It's been good. I am excited for what we got here. We have a lot of crazy stuff literally right around the corner coming into next week, and then the trade war and all of this stuff. It's led me to this play. We did it today. We talked about it yesterday, but I want to go over the exact play. It is going to be Bank of America, so if you guys do have any way or to challenge this or another play, let me know and I want to talk about it. But I want to talk about this, talk about the plays we made today and kind of what we're expecting moving forward, and then also the keys to be watching out for tomorrow. So very simple, but we got a lot that we need to talk about here. So you guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first thing in the description, and it is pinned in the comments below. And the most important thing, post your watch list below. Let us know what you're looking at, what you're playing. If you have any trade ideas, we got to source that info. So hopefully you do that. And again, hopefully we see you in the morning, you guys. We're doing all of this live. So if you do ever miss anything or you want to see it more in action, you could watch it live. You could watch the recap again, first link in the description, or you could come here to get the updates of what is happening and what went down. So let's get right into it. I do not have a keys page. You know, the main thing I'm going to be looking out for is pretty much the same stuff we've been talking coming into this Friday. Is this going to set us up now for another down Friday, down Monday like we saw last week? That would confirm a lot of volatility, or would confirm that we're going to get another big move. So watch out for that. But now it's going to make things a little difficult because on Fridays we want to look for the froggers, but now you see here 2 days it hasn't moved. We want to see what's going to either happen. It's either going to open up low or it's going to open up high and then come down. That would create an opportunity for frogs on the put side, but we need to see how all of this behaves. So I'm going to be watching and expecting us to kind of stay boxed in this range. Again, we could still close red on a day that doesn't move much like here. So that's going to be the main key. If you are unfamiliar with the frog, go search the trading fraternity frog. And again, this is just our strategy of finding options that are cheap while the stock moves in that direction. And this is going to be key for tomorrow. And again, just the good old push it to the wall, baby. There's a lot of plays now coming into this Friday. A lot of stuff had a lot of premium in the morning or on Monday because of all of the moves we saw. So those have came down now coming into a Friday. So we have to see which plays are going to be good. But that is pretty much it, though. Today was a very low volume day. If we see something like that tomorrow, that'll be telling us something. But we're right now here in this wait and see environment again, as we have the Fed and we have the trade war. So this brings up now the play. This is the best stock to buy this month. I was thinking about it today. I made the play. I posted this on the watch list yesterday. It is Bank of America. And why I like this so much, and this is even this timing, because tomorrow's going to be Friday. It's going to have one more chance to move tomorrow. But then coming into Monday, right at Monday, that'll be the week of, or pretty much the day before the Fed meetings start. And then Tuesday and Thursday, you're going to get the Fed. So we could see it move there. That's why I want to position myself here. I have a play that positions myself from after the Fed meeting and pretty much all of December, because whatever happens with the Fed meeting is going to cause a move. And then the next level too, whatever happens with the trade war decision, the banks are going to fall right into the middle of everything. So I like them a lot. I even brought this up yesterday. Pretty much it reminds me of TLT right before. So right before this big move we saw in TLT. Now, if you see TLT, it's clearly higher, but TLT is kind of stabilized here too. But it reminds me a lot about TLT hitting this high, kind of leveling out, staying at this price point, and then waiting for this event to make it break out. And a lot of people have said Bank of America doesn't go above 35. It hasn't gone above 35. It hasn't done this. It hasn't done that. Or it hasn't gone above 33, and that's the whole point. You're coming into a news catalyst here. It's hanging out at this top. If there's good enough news and what happens with the Fed is good enough, people are going to buy this up, and then vice versa. People were even talking about the buybacks ending. So there's a lot of factors here going with Bank of America and against it, which makes sense, near a high point. So I like them. We've done this every single time with TLT. So the play is playing both ways. I bought both calls and puts on the same expiration date. They are cheaper because Bank of America now isn't a big mover. So if we did want to play this and we saw the same situation with like a Goldman or anything like that, that could probably work a little bit better. So keep that in mind when playing this, because any of the strike prices we get, they're going to be a little bit further out the money, and that's just the nature of Bank of America stock. So watch Bank of America, but here's the play. I grabbed it on the small Robinhood account. We also grabbed the Ulta today too, so the Ulta lost. We'll see how those play out, but it's pretty much a December 27th 30-50 put. I bought 5 of those for $10 each. You can see here about $50 total. Again, the 30, 50, and this is for December 27th. Like I said, pretty much covers the whole month. And then I got the 35 calls. I got 10 of those for, again, the same price. So 5 of each ones. I was looking, I even said it on stream, that I messed up. I was going to get the 35 50s and just get 10 of those for 5 cents each, but that hopefully you can see the difference. You know, even 50 cents outside of the money will change the contracts around by a decent amount. So watch that. I'm going to be watching this play, and this play is definitely going to develop for me. So I like it a lot. Coming into the Fed, I'm probably going to buy more. I want to see if we get some further out the money and closer to the money. That's one of my options to buy more, but my main option that I'm going to be looking at, depending on what happens with the Fed both before and after, is I'm going to try to go for shorter dated contracts to be able to narrow in really the sweet spot. Now, this is the thing. We have played this before. So literally every single Fed meeting so far, when we have set up a play on Bank of America, they've hit to a certain degree, depending on what happened at the event and how big of a bombshell it was. You saw either a bigger or smaller move with Bank of America. So you could even see, like, where's like 9/16. This was the last Fed meeting after the big one. It kind of dropped a little bit, then ended up dropping in October 2nd, but you could kind of see how TLT moved a lot bigger than that. So I think they're going to really kind of take turns here, but finance and banking stocks in general, they're going to react to the Fed. Then they have all of this stuff coming right around the corner with, again, the trade war. This is going to be my favorite play. So I need to finalize this and see, because right now I only have about $100 on it. But as I kept thinking about this play, it's clicking for me. I need to be able to try and prove it wrong. So I've always said, you know, in the most educational way, if you guys could prove me wrong on this, you have a counter thesis to this, please post it. Again, be positive, be respectful. That's all we're looking for. This is why I'm sharing this info to begin with. But factoring everything we're looking at that we got coming on here, I like it a lot, and I'm going to be sticking with it. So that is your play of the month, but let us get into the plays. Well, that's pretty much all I have today. But so what I did today was Ulta now. I did them in an earnings continuation, but as far as Ulta, though, you guys see this was coming in from yesterday. We bought the 10 contracts, then we bought those five calls. So we got 10 puts, 5 calls, and then this morning, as it was going up, I did something, you know, I pretty much sold out of them. You can see on the puts, we bought them at 45 cents. I was able to sell them out at 50 and 55 cents. I didn't get filled on all those. I actually ended up selling those at break even. Then we got the calls for 60 cents. I sold those at 5 cents lower, took like a $20 loss. So ended up taking a slighter loss because I sold the calls at a loss and the puts at a loss, but I did what my plan was. You know, I wanted to play it in the earnings, and we wanted to get some to flip the IV. I was more inclined to get the puts. That's why I got it even on the other account. I thought that they would have more downside, but they didn't. They surprised. $18 is like just within their expected range. So this is interesting. And it moved, and now, again, we'll see where the calls and everything are at. This is going to be one for the continuation tomorrow, but it met the criteria, and this was one that just simply missed. It was pricing in $22. It's even right below that, so we're going to have to see. It could be because of the marketplace, but regardless, that play ended up being a loss. And now this is why, too, depending on what calls you got. Remember, the calls were expensive to begin with. Even, actually, most of the Ulta plays, we were already about 2.5 standard deviations outside the money. We're kind of pretty far out there, so it makes sense with how it's moved in the price of the stock. But I'm still going to be watching that. Unfortunately, though, that one was a dud. However, the next play we made today, well, this one was a dud too, actually, because I bought him off the morning. I played that 10-minute mark on there literally as it was hitting the high, and then right when we got after 10 minutes, remember, that could be a pivot point in either direction. The stock turned around, and it kept coming down, so we were wrong. But what I did was I grabbed a 5 below, got it for 48 cents, a December 13th next week 138 call. Those are quickly, you know, within 10, 20 minutes, they became worth like $20 or $15. However, I still like 5 below. You know, they were up 9% earlier today. After this, they closed down 5. Looking at them, they look decent. I mean, when they were kind of coming up here, they're at like that 127, 128. I was like, all right, that could be a good continuation. They had good volume, but eventually it came down. So I'm going to be watching that. Again, earnings continuations are going to be a key that I'm looking for. So they're going to be important. I think Ulta tomorrow morning, don't get too jumpy on the weeklies, but then don't underestimate what a little bit of time could do on these. So I want to see how the market even takes Ulta. As far as everything else, check out DocuSign. They had their earnings. They beat 10%, but I don't know if this was actually priced in. Yeah, like they were still kind of expensive. I know a lot of people had the 80s. I think these guys will be good in the morning, but remember, DocuSign's not really a stock that's designed to move a lot, but they had their earnings, they beat, but again, still just like right below that range of breaking out, but almost exactly in where they were pricing in. Ulta right below where it priced in, but they had their earnings. They did good. So did Zoom. I think this is going to be a good one tomorrow. I don't know if you guys remember a few months ago. Remember when Zoom was in the 90s or something, or hundreds? Remember that thing would go crazy? You guys remember when we would play all these? It's kind of dropping again. So if they come down here and test the low, they're an IPO. They had this bad earnings. They could kind of hit the brakes coming on the low side and may do it slower than expected, but keep an eye out for them. I like Zoom, and even on whether it's upside or downside, but when this stock is ready to move, it moves pretty big. And I think either Zoom or DocuSign, one of them has a lockup expiry. So watch those guys. Watch 5 like we said, and then HD. This was the play from yesterday that I put up. I was going to do it. You could now sell the 212.50 call and buy the 210.50 call and do a credit spread there, and you could get a pretty decent amount. I'd be selling the puts. I was going to do one for next week. I'm going to keep my eyes open for it still, so depending on what Home Depot does, that is a play that I want to do and take advantage of, so keep an eye out for that. Then, like we said, Bank of America, and then watch Boeing. Now, actually, here are the 2 plays. If I think there's going to be any crazy froggers, I'm not going to just focus on these per se, but I'm definitely, I don't want to forget about these 2, but Boeing and United Health. Again, we're approaching our 9th week here. If we don't make 1,000% play by tomorrow, the streak ends at 8 weeks. So we have to see what we're going to be hunted for. So hopefully you guys are on the stream tomorrow. But I like Boeing. They dropped a lot. They had news today that the SEC, they sent a letter to the SEC, something around production. It dropped. It came back up, and then it slowly edged down here. But again, Boeing's gave up a lot in the last week or so. Watch where they're at. But then this is something I've said to take note of. You'll notice above 340, or above like 342. Notice that Boeing moves in a lot bigger candles based on the news. When Boeing's at a higher price, it moves in bigger price increments even off the news. The minute we get to 340 and lower, look how tight the candles come relative to the candles above it. It doesn't start moving pretty big. So that's why it's interesting. We got some negative news, and it started moving in just such a smaller range and velocity, which I thought was interesting. So keep your eye out for that one. But I'm going to be watching them, like whatever happens with them, and Boeing just has that do nothing, then 1,000% potential. So we'll see. And then UNH, they did this today. They started running up today. Contracts are still cheap. They kind of leveled out there, but UNH 282, especially in the last few months, this is a very, very important level here. So watch them in the morning. This is literally like right near all-time highs by like a few dollars. So if anything, if UNH comes out the gate strong tomorrow, or ends up kind of strong, comes down, and then it might make a second rip up, I'm going to be watching UNH. So remind me about those tomorrow. We'll see what we could pull off with those. And then now in that same breath, watch Cigna as well too, because I saw a lot of the healthcares ran up today. So I'm going to be watching to see what they do, but just keep an eye out for them. And I really, really like those, this healthcare play in general. I was even thinking about, we were talking a lot about the long term. I made a new long term account too, so get ready for that. I'll have to give you guys an update on that. But check out Cigna. Then we're going to be watching Ulta. I like Disney as well too. They kind of had, if you guys think about it, compared to the last week, they just kind of sold off, went down here. If they break below here, this could get interesting to see. Again, Disney's not the biggest mover too, even though it has been these last few weeks. So if it gets back into this phase and holds a range, maybe we sell premium, but I still want them even on the long-term portfolio a little bit. Then watch Shopify. They dropped a decent amount today, $10, but I still think they're at this range. This could be a good one if they do surprise and jump tomorrow. That's going to be a frogger. Then we got McDonald's too. I kind of given them an honorary mention. You can see they kind of want to perk up here. Like I said too on the other watch list, whenever McDonald's is ready to pick a move, this last few weeks has just made all the contracts so cheap, and think about how that has been affecting and priced into the implied volatility. So watch them. Watch XL and X2. They kind of came up. They're still, again, dead man walking. Same philosophy even with that McDonald's. So again, we have those contracts that could go down, but we'll see. I think we have another week or two on them, but I'm still going to be watching them along with all the chip makers as well. And then lastly, watch TLT and any of the other indexes. I would want to say UVXY too, and that's going to be one thing if we start to see the volatility come back. But kind of in line with that Bank of America play, how I'm setting up for these, I think TLT is going to be another honorary mention as the best play to get, but just Bank of America reminds me of it at one of those earlier stages, but we have a lot of stuff on our plate. There's a lot of stuff around the corner, and even though we're kind of getting some of these days where we drop, 600, 700 points on Monday and Tuesday, and then now it's kind of cooling off, don't forget why it dropped and what is causing this. So I'm going to be watching these and just getting prepared and knowing now. And even then, some of you guys like to chase puts and buy certain things. know what you want to buy now and identify now the indexes, the ETFs, whatever it may be. And then when that move happens, and then when you're able to confirm what's happening, then you could go buy it. You don't necessarily need to buy it right here, right now. So keep that in mind. And then lastly, too, IYT, transports, because I still haven't got the FedEx play. I think it's kind of interesting what transports are doing. Again, this is one of the only divergences we're even seeing. Some people have talked about it, so going to be keeping an eye out for there, but also kind of in the name of just waiting for that FedEx play as well, too. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list below. Make sure we see you there in the morning. Make sure you're ready. Control the balances. It's going to be a froggy Friday. You're going to have the chance to make some gains or watch all of your gains go away. We can't force it. Even though we want 9 weeks, we got to let it come to us. We will see. Get ready for news. Don't be too reactive, but don't be too complacent. It's fine and balanced, but get ready for December, baby. There's a lot going on. So I want to see you guys in the game. I want y'all to do good. Control it. Be blessed. Go read your Bible. Go drink some water. You know what to do. And let's go!